Hey everyone, if you guys are looking for a spinner or a loader, look no further because in this video, we'll be creating one using HTML and CSS. So let's start. So this is the finished project, the spinner that we're going to be building in this video. Now, since I've added animation, it seems like these small circles, they kind of rotate on a circular path. So yeah, let's see how to build this. So in my index.html file, I have the broiler template ready. Now within the body, I'm going to create a div with the class of loader, which is going to hold everything within itself. So now I'm going to need to create those small dots or circles. So I'm going to use span. So in VS Code, I can just write span asterisk 20 and it's going to give me 20 spans for 20 each dot. Now I want each individual dot or circle to have a specific value. So I can do that by creating or adding CSS variables to each individual span. So for that, I'm going to add the style attribute, and then within which I'm going to add in the variable by writing 2 hyphen and then adding the variable name, which is I in this case, and then followed by a colon and then the value. Now starting from 1 to 20, these would be the values that I'm going to add to each individual circle. So in my CSS, as usual, I have removed margin and padding, and I have added border box to box sizing, and I have given the body a minimum height of 100 viewport height and also a background. Now since I want the spinner or the loader at the center, I'm going to use the property of display grid and we'll add place items center. Now keep in mind that this only works if you have one single object and you want to place it at the center, but if you have multiple ones, this wouldn't really work. Now then after this, we're gonna add in loader and we're gonna add its width and height and also position relative, since we're gonna position these spans absolutely. Now after we position them absolutely, we want to give them top and left value and also a width and height. Now here comes the tricky part, wherein we need to add in that circular pattern that each individual span has. So to do that, I have already assigned each individual span a specific value using the CSS variables. Now what I need to do is I need to multiply that with 18 degrees. Now that would give me that specific angle at which each individual span should be placed, since we want the first one to be at 18 degrees and then we want the last one to be at 360 degrees. So if you calculate it that way, we can generate the circular pattern. After that is done, we want to target the before pseudo selector of span and we want to place it absolutely. Now keep in mind that you need to specify content as blank before using, and then we're gonna add in top and left to 0 and also width and height of 15 pixels and a border radius of 50% since it's gonna be a circle, and then a background of green. And you can see that we have the circles ready. Now we need to add in the neon effect. So to do that, I'm gonna use box shadow. Now we have the blur as 10 pixels and then followed by the same color as the background. Now we want to add in several layers of this. So first layer is going to have 10 pixels, then 20 pixels of blur, then 40, 60, 80 and then 100 pixels. Now with this, we should have the loader looking something like this. Now all that's left is to add in the animation. Now we're going to add in animation of animate of 2 seconds, linear and infinite, since we want it to go on and on. Now we want to add in the animation delay. So again, we want to use the calculate function and we want each individual circle to delay by its CSS variable. So I'm gonna multiply its individual CSS variable with 0.1 seconds. Now that's gonna give us the individual CSS animation delay. Now we're gonna add in the keyframes to the animation animate, and we're gonna just write 2 and we want it to move to scale 0. So we're gonna add in transform scale to 0, and with this we are done with our loader.